How was your spring break?
Good. Have I
What'd you
grown
do?
taller?
Have you
I
grown
look
taller?
taller.
You're so tall. I almost can't even see you. You're so high up. Wow, you're so tall.
I'm sitting down. So am I.
Did you eat something that turned you into a giant? Is that what happened? Too many
No.
Too many peeps? What do you think?
No, I've only eaten one piece. So
Only one peep. Wow, that's really good restraint. I'm impressed.
Hey, girls.
You guys excited to start learning again?
Yeah.
I'd like you to sit like you're in school and Uncle Drew's your teacher.
Yes,
Okay.
well, let's think about Panama.
Panama. Do I look like a teacher?
Yes, kind of.
Do you? Kind of? How do I look like a teacher? What do teachers look like? Teachers wear headphones?
No.
Teachers have noses? Huh. Oh, so you're a teacher because I see that you have a nose because you're sneezing now.
No.
I don't know. Maybe you will be someday.
Whoa, look at the starfish.
Starfish. They have so many starfish. They have so many cool things in Panama. So many animals and forests and beaches, and we're going to learn all about it. The little
Okay, now
country
I like
Panama.
Now I really like Panama.
Good. Well, hopefully you'll like it even more by the end of today. See how small it is on the map here?
Yeah, so small.
I kept it super zoomed out to show you just how small it is. It's actually about the same size as South Carolina or North Carolina, where who lives in South Carolina or North Carolina? Do you guys know anyone who lives there?
We know people.
Exactly.
North
So it's not the same size.
Carolina is where they live.
Do you know who lived in Panama for a while?
Daddy.
Exactly. And what did Daddy tell you about Panama?
There's sunburn.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he tells me too. Tons of sun. What's that, Hayden?
All we know.
All you know. All right. Well, you're going to learn a lot about it today. So it's a pretty small country. And how small is it, he wondered. So the United States has 300 million people, right? And Brazil, it has 200 million. Mexico has 120 million, really big countries. But where's Panama on this list? This is all the countries in America. So from North America all the way down to South America and Argentina. Where's Panama?
Down.
Yeah, it's not even in this top list. It's number 21. It's not even in the top 10. So Panama has just under 4 million people. So it's 1/100th the size of the United States. So for every one person living in Panama, there's 100 people in the US.
Wow.
Really small.
Not fun.
It used to be a lot bigger though.
Good job so far.
You're learning something, aren't you? So it used to be a lot bigger. So remember, we learned about Colombia, and we haven't learned about Ecuador or Venezuela yet, but they all used to be part of one country. This whole northern region of South America, all 4 countries were one country, and it was called Gran Colombia. Gran in Spanish means grand or big, and so it was Big Colombia. It was only 120 years ago that Panama became its own country. And when it became its own country, there was one really important thing that happened. The United States actually came down and partnered with Panama to create one of the most impressive and important engineering projects in the history of the world. They created something called the Panama Canal. Have you heard of the Panama Canal?
No. I've heard of the Erie Canal, though.
Yeah, so it's a similar concept. There's canals, but the Panama is the biggest and most important one in the world because before they made the Panama Canal, boats that would go from the east coast of the United States to the west coast of the United States, or from Asia all the way to Pennsylvania, for example, they had to go all the way around this red line, down underneath Argentina, all the way up around Brazil and up here. So they had to spend an extra month on their boat just going all the way around so that you guys could get all of your toilet paper and gummy bears and t-shirts and all of the things that you want from overseas. So they would go all the way around here. But what they did with the Panama Canal is they took a lot of shovels. They took so many people and so many shovels, so many machines, and they cut a hole through the middle of the country. They cut a hole straight through the entire country, just like this. And so it's not a very wide country, right? You saw it was super small, and they went to the smallest part in between, and they cut so all the water could flow through. And so what happens is the boats could then go in between the country instead of having to go all the way around South America. What do you think? Not impressed.
Pretty big deal.
I am impressed.
You're impressed? It's only like the most impressive thing that has ever happened. So we'll see. And this is what it looks like. And giant boats will come through. Have you guys ever seen one of these giant boats? How big it is?
I think so. Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
could put on top of this, you could put hundreds of houses, hundreds of them, tons and tons of houses. They carry so many things. And the way that the Panama Canal works is not only is it just a straight line, one of the reasons it was so impressive is that it had to go up and down. Have you ever seen a boat go up a hill and down the other side of a hill?
Not up.
Not up, right. And so they built
They have
a way
boat
for
locks.
boats to go up the hill. And so here's an example. Yeah, locks. They have these little boxes. Think of them as boxes or chambers where they would fill it up with water. So the boat would rise up and it just inches along. Can you tell from the pictures kind of how it works?
You guys have seen
Yeah.
stuff like this before at like the Please Touch Museum or different
Yeah.
the
Except they're
museum in
way
Baltimore.
smaller.
Yeah, really tiny little ones, but where you have to like fill up something with water and the boat lifts up, and it's how a boat can go uphill.
Except it goes way faster.
Yes, because it was a tiny space and a tiny boat, but it's the same type of thing, like that.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Hayden, please sit on your chair, okay? That's the chair you chose for the day, so we can switch back tomorrow, but I'd like you to stay sitting in your chair.
So one of the things that happened after the Panama Canal was built was a giant city came to be right next to the Panama Canal. It's known as Panama City. And this is where your dad lived for a couple of months. And it's right up against the water. You can see a photo here. Really tall buildings and right up against the water.
Whoa.
It looks
Wow.
just like Pennsylvania, right?
No.
No? What's different?
There's a city right off of the beach, and there's that huge bridge going into the water.
Oh, of course. How could I forget? Pennsylvania
And
doesn't
the
have those things.
Erie Canal has to go over a lot of mountains, and so it has over 80 boat locks.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I don't even know about the Erie Canal. Wow, that's pretty cool. So it's in New York.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
Can you tell us about the Erie Canal?
I think Quinn knows more about the Erie Canal than I do. She could teach us.
There's not much.
Not much to know.
Can you teach us about the starfish now and the beaches and the animals?
That's a good point. Well, we should keep going forward so we can get to the animals. That's the fun part. So one of the things that's interesting with Panama City is of all the cities and countries in South America and Latin America, all these Spanish countries, it has the most American things. It has Popeyes and it has McDonald's and it has Papa John's and Applebee's and Subway and all of the different chain restaurants you would see in the US because the US basically lived there for 10 years while they were building the canal. And so they have all of these different American things and American influence. In fact, you know how we've learned about all the different currencies, how the currencies look different in every given country?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the currency of Panama looks like? It's the US dollar. These are some old ones before the current version, but they use the US dollar. So they use money from the United States as their currency. They also have some Panamanian currencies, and they have some coins that are unique to them, but they have US dollars. So you can go there with money and you don't have to get a different currency. This is their local money, so they can do both.
But we would just use ours.
You could. That's exactly right. That's what I did. I used US dollars when I was there. And one of the other things that's really interesting about Panama is it's the connecting point between South America and North America. So all of the countries have to go through Panama if you want to go north to south. In fact, not only can you go across it because of the canal, you can go north to south driving. There's one highway called the Pan American Highway, Pan meaning many. So it is many different countries, and it goes all the way from Alaska in the very, very north in the cold, all the way down to Argentina, and it goes straight through. So you can drive all the way from Alaska down to South America. What do you think? Hayden, you're more interested in the animals, aren't you?
Would you like to be in the car for that long? How many hours of a drive do you think it would be?
Probably
800,000 billion.
Yeah.
So many hours. So many hours. Okay, here's some of the people. The people are super friendly. They are, like in a lot of countries with hotter climates, they have all different kinds of complexion to their skin. Here's some of the traditional dress that they like to wear. So they like to have these big dresses, and they dance around, and they do this, and they shimmy, and all kinds of stuff. Do you guys have any dresses like this?
Sort of.
Yes.
Sort of. Maybe your Elsa and Anna dresses?
Yes. We do.
Here are some of the other
It's
people.
called a twirly girl dress.
Twirly
But it's
girl.
not-
Yeah.
It's not that fancy though.
Okay. Well, maybe you would fit in Panama. If you make it to Panama, you can bring the dresses and let me know.
And it's double-sided.
Double-sided. Pretty cool. Reversible is always handy. So one of the things that Panama has is what's called indigenous people. Have you guys heard of indigenous?
No.
It's a term for people who've lived there for a long, long time. So in a lot of the Americas, there were people living there before people came over from Europe. So the white people, all of us who live in the Americas, we originally came from Europe. And a long time ago, our great-grandparents, great-great-great-grandparents somehow came over to the US. And so indigenous people mean they've always sort of been from that same area. And so Panama still has some indigenous population of people who've always lived there. And they have, in fact, one group called the Kunas, which live all the way out on these islands outside or off the coast, and they're called the San Blas Islands, and they are beautiful.
Whoa. Whoa.
And they are islands where you can go into the water in the middle of the ocean. This is 30 miles off the coast of the ocean, and they have little mini islands like this. And so all they have is little houses and volleyball places to
Shallow
play
is the
volleyball.
water.
How
Is
shallow?
the water?
Where it's really blue,
Yeah,
you can
in the
stand in
middle of the
it.
ocean.
It's like 3 feet tall. So you guys could stand in that water and have your heads above the water. No problem.
So we could just like walk to that island,
Exactly.
even though it would take forever. How high would it be?
It would be up to your chest, Hayden.
For me, it would probably be like a little like right down here.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm exactly 4 feet.
Yeah, watch. Let me see if I can find a better one. Sometimes they have sandbars all the way out in the ocean where there's not even an island. You're just in the middle of nowhere, and you can stand in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, I'm not seeing one now, but I can send you a photo later. It's the same sort of concept. Actually, here's a good one. It's all the way out in the middle of the water, and so there's just like sand in the middle of the water, and it's only up to your knees, and you can just stand all the way out there. Pretty wild, right?
Wow. And then you're like in the middle of the ocean.
Exactly.
Wait, go back. I saw a crazy person. Go back.
I don't think I have a crazy. Oh, this person hanging on the tree. Yep. And look at this. You've got someone in a hammock over the water. See, this is an example. They're in the middle of the ocean. See what I mean? They aren't even on. There's no sand. They're just in the middle of the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Super cool.
amazing.
It is amazing. It's one of the
Back to
coolest
the
places I've ever been.
Back to the surfing.
Oh, back to the surfing. Yep, they do a lot of surfing because they have so many oceans. They have oceans on the east side and the west side of the country.
It's a peninsula.
And, yeah, a peninsula. And they have beaches all over the place. Here are some of your starfish. The starfish love Panama because they can hang out right near the water, near the sun. Because starfish like to get sun, but they also like water, right? So they like to be near or in shallow water. So it's perfect for them.
We could keep one as a pet. Because we have
You
sun
survive an
and we
ocean.
have
Yeah.
water too.
Here's a kayak in the middle of the water on top of a sandbar. So you could be out in the middle of the ocean kayaking, and you could say, hey, I want to get out of my kayak and rest in the water. And you could just stand there and enjoy yourself.
It's floating. It's floating.
Exactly. And you can see how shallow it is because the shadow is right there.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
sunny and hot like this all year round. So in December, oh man, I have to show you guys some photos of Panama City in December. They have giant Santa Claus and Christmas decorations, and it's 90 degrees outside. It's hotter than summer.
Baby, look at the baby turtles. Look how many there are.
Yeah, there's a lot of baby turtles. A lot of them hatch at the same time.
They just hatch from their eggs, right? That's
Yeah.
what they do. They head toward the light.
When do baby turtles hatch?
When do they hatch? When they're ready to be on their own again. When they're ready to be out in the world.
Summer.
Oh, what time of the year? I'm not sure. But here's a lot of them.
They're just coming out of that hole that the mom laid their eggs in.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Oh my goodness, they're so cute.
I know, there are so many.
And they're going to all look like this when they grow up. They're going to be these big, beautiful tortoises.
Aww.
Sea turtles. So fun. Oh, look at this one. He's playing tag with a jellyfish.
He's eating the jellyfish.
No, he's playing tag. They're friends.
No, they're not.
They're totally friends. What do you think this is?
A plastic
It's like a
bag.
ghost. Plastic bag? You're probably right, unfortunately.
That's horrible.
Oh, you're definitely right.
It's a
It is
jellyfish.
horrible. This is why you should never throw your trash into the ocean.
I know, that's why Daddy always cuts the little soda things. The thing that keeps the soda in. He cuts them to make sure that tiny fish can never get stuck in them. And that
That's good.
yeah.
That's good. And your dad probably wore a hat like this when he was in Panama. This is called the Panama hat. And ironically, it's actually made in Ecuador. It's not made in Panama, but they call it the Panama hat. And lots of people wear them in Ecuador and Panama and Colombia and sort of throughout that region. But they're kind of stylish. I need one. It would make me look cooler, right?
Me too. I need one too.
You do? You like it? Let's see. Panama hat on girl. Let's see how this works. Aha, there you go. Looks cute. This could be you.
What do you think?
Maybe you'll
No
get one
comment?
for Christmas. No promises. They also have forests. So they have all the beaches, but they also have big forests because they're down where it's hot. And so what happens when you have forests?
Let's on the one with the waterfall.
The waterfall, the waterfall. I don't see a waterfall. Oh, here.
Yeah.
I thought that was a tree.
Pretty cool. And so I went hiking in the forest when I was there, and guess what I found?
Animals.
I found animals, and I found all kinds of animals. The one that I found the most of, or really that found me.
It's a baby sloth.
Where's the baby sloth? Oh, right here in the hand. Super cute.
No, the other one. There's a baby. Oh, that's cute. But it's the one right next to the frog.
Baby sloth.
Oh, right
Other
here.
one next.
I know.
Yeah.
That one. That one. Yeah, that one.
Mhm.
Ah!
And they have one of these little cute things. You remember this guy?
Yeah, spider. There's a ginormous spider.
Yeah, they have some tarantulas. The tarantulas are harmless though. The big hairy ones like this, they don't go for humans. They eat like insects and stuff. But this is the one that I saw. I went for a hike and this guy came up to me and he started following me. In fact, he started chasing me. You know why he was chasing me?
Why?
Because he wanted food. And he saw me and he's like, you look like a guy who would have food. And I said, no food here. And I turned and I started walking away and he started chasing me. And so I was scared. I was like, is he going to attack me? I don't know him. He's a stranger. And so my friend, Kevin, he was like, yeah, he was like, you have to give him food to have him leave you alone. So I grabbed these peanuts from my bag and I throw peanuts on the ground and he pounces on the peanuts and starts eating peanuts. And then I got away. He pounced. He ate as many of them as he could. He was a hungry coati.
Coati.
Look at their tail. Yeah, it's a coati. Remember, they were from, we saw them in Argentina as well, in
Yeah.
Iguazu, in the rainforest. Or,
Iguazu. Iguazu.
yeah. And this frog is endemic. It's a golden frog. Do you know what the term endemic means?
Is it poisonous?
It is, I think, poisonous. Usually the colorful ones are poisonous, but endemic, have you ever heard of the word endemic? Do you know what that means?
No.
Well, today's vocabulary lesson, in addition to teaching you about indigenous people, will teach you about endemic animals. Endemic means the animal only exists in that one part of the world. So this frog only lives in Panama. No other countries can you find it. It's not in the US, it's not in Argentina, it's not in Brazil, it's not in Colombia, it's only in Panama.
Wow.
Why do you think that is?
I know which country I want to go with. You too.
To Panama?
Yeah.
Extinct.
Well, there's still some other countries for us to explore, so you might change your mind.
Panama and Argentina.
Both good options. Both good options indeed. Here are some of the things that they like to eat. What does it look like to you?
The little taco thing.
Rice.
Empanadas?
Empanadas, that, yeah, those.
Rice.
Yep, they eat a lot of rice.
Mm.
They eat anything else that you remember learning about? Do you remember what these little smushed yellow things are?
No.
Patacones, smushed plantains. They were in Haiti and they were in Colombia too. So those are some of the things they eat. They also eat a lot of banana and they drink a lot of coffee because it's so hot. They have all of this banana and coffee to give to the world, which your mom is so grateful for since she loves bananas, right?
No. She loves the other one though.
Have you guys ever eaten in through the side of a banana, like bitten into the peel of it?
No.
I did it one time.
Did it taste good?
No, not at all. It was awful.
No, you did not.
I did it. I did it when I was 16 years old at high school. I did it to be funny. Do you believe that? Do you believe that I would do something just to be funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was with my friends and I just picked up the banana and instead of peeling it, I just bit into it like a sandwich. And it was not good. I did not swallow
Did your
it.
friends laugh?
Sorry?
Did your friends laugh?
Was my friend black?
No.
Did your friends laugh?
Oh, did my friends laugh?
It's a very different
I don't remember if they laughed or not. They probably just thought I was weird.
I knew he didn't.
Your friends are not black, okay?
He
I
has
have black
lots of-
friends too. I have friends with every color skin.
He just misunderstood what Quinn was
Yeah,
saying. That's
I
not.
didn't hear you.
Sometimes over digital stuff, words can get a little bit.
Favorite game is baseball.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. It's not soccer. Isn't that crazy? Probably because they have such a tight connection with the U.S. and that's why they love baseball. Because in the U.S., baseball used to be the favorite sport. Now it's American football with the the 49ers and all those guys. But baseball used to be America's favorite sport. And
soccer is one of the favorite sports. It's one of our favorite sports and those favorite. Can you soccer defense?
Definitely. All right. The only other thing I wanted to show you guys is Panama City at Christmas, because I was there in December and it was so hot and they put up all these Christmas lights and it was so funny to see. 90 degrees. Look at this. They had palm trees on a boat in summer. Or in December, rather.
Of all, that's what makes you pass out.
Look at this. Look at this. They had Santa in the ocean.
Wait, is that the real Santa or one of Santa's helpers? I think it's one of
probably someone who dressed up like Santa. I can't say for sure, but they had Santa down in Panama, and he was wearing all those clothes despite it being so hot.
There's a starfish with a Santa hat on it under this picture that you're on.
That's hilarious.
Does it look like it wants a hug?
Yeah.
It sort of looks like a gingerbread man.
Yes.
Oh man, this is amazing. I love the internet. It's a,
A mom and dad, kid and a baby.
oh man. Oh,
Oh
this
my
one
God,
has
this one with
sunglasses.
sunglasses. And Santa hat.
Oh my gosh, a candy cane.
We keep adding more things.
Whew, okay. On that note, so Hayden's gonna come to Panama. Quinn, where do you want to go?
Panama.
Panama? That's your favorite?
Yes.
I think we'll
Just
have to
because
look
the
through.
starfish?
Panama. Stop
What
thinking
about Argentina? Ew.
Argentina's really far though.
Panama's my favorite. Then Argentina, then Brazil.
What about Morocco and Tanzania and Japan?
Yeah, but those.
Germany? Remember all the
No.
meat they eat in Germany?
No. You're giving me.
Well, we'll
Okay,
see.
now
Tomorrow I will show you about Guatemala, and maybe Guatemala can be better than Panama. What do you think? Is that possible? Is it possible that a country could be better than Panama? What would a country have to be better than Panama?
Here, I'm gonna go get my joke book.
Okay.
Dolphin. By
Dolphin.
dolphin. And
All right.
everything else, but they also have dolphins. Bye. We're getting my
Bye.
joke book.